Thank you very much.
Some of us are vertically challenged, so permit us to always draw the mic down. Before I invite the next speaker, quickly let me acknowledge, of course, the presence of the vanguards of the party in governance, the MPs. So please let's acknowledge the presence of our members of parliament, the parliamentary candidates, incoming, outgoing. We acknowledge your presence and the work you continue to do. Kudos. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of members of the creative arts industry as well as the entertainment industry as well. Your work is very critical. Thank you. And of course, Nime and Naime, I acknowledge your presence. Next, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the National Chairman, Chairman General, General 1, the Honorable Johnson Nkedu Nketia.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, in order to save time, permit me to write on the protocols beautifully established by my General Secretary. Let me begin by saying that today marks a very important landmark towards our march towards victory 2024. And on occasions like this, we must assess ourselves and identify the risks ahead of our journey to victory. I don't intend to spoil the mood, but let me say that we are happy that the polls are projecting a massive victory for us, both for President Mahama and for a resounding majority in Parliament in 2025. But I like to caution that polls results alone don't constitute victory for any political party. And we must be aware that our opponents have a lot of money and they are going into the vote market with a lot of looted cash. One of the first major risks that we face is to pretend to compete with them in the game of vote buying. No matter what we do, we cannot mobilize enough resources to be able to compete with them in money politics. And indeed, they will be happy if we move the battle away from principles, from integrity, from honesty and truthfulness to the battle of who pays higher. So I like to caution all of us that don't let us abandon the tool we are more comfortable with and try to pick the tools that MPP is comfortable with. So let's remain a party of honesty, a party of truth, a party of integrity. And that is the only way we can defeat MPP. The second risk I want us to guard against is the risk of complacency. The polls figures tend to create a picture that we have already won. I like to caution everybody that we have not won yet. We are on the way to victory. But let's guard against complacency. Number 3, because we are already convinced that we are there, a lot of people have begun taking positions and fighting over who will be what in the next government. Indeed, some people are not only fighting about the positions they will occupy, they are telling all others that they will be the kingmakers and they will be making their appointments. If we are not careful, this will dampen the enthusiasm and the spirit of our followers. So I want to assure everybody that we are not there yet. Don't be fighting about positions. And don't be struggling about who will make appointments. Let us all go for the hunting first, and when we kill the game, we now argue about how to share the meat. Finally, a lot of us assume that we have won 2024 and that somehow we have succeeded in governing this country so well that Ghanaians will be willing to return us to power in 2028. So I can see orchestrations and movements towards positioning ourselves for what happens in 2028. I beg you, the name of our game now is Victory December 2024. Let us seek ye first the victory for December 2024, and all other things shall be added unto thee. Thank you very much, and may God bless us all. I wish to congratulate Professor Opoku-Agyemang for a wonderful day, and we hope, we have the firm belief that the party is solidly behind her and behind President John Dramani Mahama. And we have no doubt at all that he will perform wonders and restore the position of Vice President of the Republic of Ghana to its usual dignity. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
In the midst of Ghana's bustling landscapes, amid the vibrant rhythms of Komenda, emerged a figure whose legacy resonates far beyond the sandy shores of her homeland. She is Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyemang, an embodiment of wisdom, a nurturer of minds, and a trailblazer in the realm of education and leadership. Born in Cape Coast, Ghana, Professor Opoku-Agyemang's journey is a testament to the power of perseverance and the transformative potential of education. As a daughter of Komenda, she carries with her the spirit of resilience and the values of community that shape her approach to leadership. From the corridors of Wesley Girls High School to the halls of academia at the University of Cape Coast and beyond, Professor Opoku-Agyemang has left an indelible mark on the educational landscape of Ghana.
Today, for me, is a day to reflect on the making of history because history often has many witnesses, and we have the power to be part in the creation and making of that history. Historic decisions aren't always easy decisions or popular decisions to make, but they are important decisions to make.
First of all, I encountered her when I was a student at the University of Cape Coast. After one lecture, she told me, "What are you here for?" I said, "I'm here for a degree." She said, "A degree? Is that the end of it all?" I said, "Well, I don't know the way forward." So she started inspiring me. "You're capable of becoming a lecturer in this institution, but these are the way forward. Do A, B, C, D."
She's someone who creates that cordial atmosphere for anybody to thrive. Take for example, we are talking about a woman as a vice chancellor who will meet a young lecturer. "Jonathan, how are you doing? Are you publishing?" Now it means that she's interested in the way you are micromanaging your affairs to be able to get promoted to the next level.
During her time, she was able to encourage early career members of the university to think about their academic progression, to think about their research.
Once Professor asked me to do something for her, then it touched me. That's a woman who cares for the ordinary. He said, "Can you go to Kolebu and talk to the doctors who take care of cancer of children?" Because that's something that she takes personally, and she thinks that children come with cancers, we have a special place in her heart.
Maybe Kingsley, minimum Prof. by 2000 na me kotran nche as a house help. Prof ye nipa bi a oya sonko enkofu bebre a na wo sika sam office na aja prof tum bo won na ade kwa me kai wo prof won de afisu de mi a entala mo ye de kacha injanka na hono wo prisons every.
Her tenure as Minister for Education and groundbreaking achievements as the first female Vice-Chancellor of a state university embody her unwavering commitment to empowering the next generation.
Well, as a young woman who aspires to attain higher heights, I look at Prof and I am convinced that it is not just possible and attainable, but it is doable because obviously she's there.
And so when I think about the work that Prof has done, she wasn't focused about frills of what to change, but she was focused about what do I change today that'll impact students and student learning.
So I was invited to be a speaker at an International Women's Day program, and Prof was the other panelist that I was supposed to be on with. And she sent me an email and did acknowledge that most of the issues I had mentioned about women in the labor market were things that ordinarily people wouldn't think about. And she had learned so much about the challenges and the opportunities. And she will be very happy to be a mentor and a coach to me. But then in her sign out, she also mentioned that she also wouldn't mind me coaching her or mentoring her along certain lines, since my area of specialization is different from her. So it was quite interesting how someone like her would just reach out. It should have been me, trying to reach out to her, but it was the other way around.
And she remains a Power Africa member, a very active Power Africa member. She pays attention to detail, and she likes processes. She likes things that are done in procedural manner and in line with the policies and procedures of any institution.
But beyond her titles and accolades, Professor Opoku-Agyemang embodies the essence of a mother figure, guiding and nurturing countless individuals on their journey towards knowledge and enlightenment.
This woman, I would say, is a mother. You will make sure that 5 o'clock, 5:30, he said, "Alberta, I'm leaving the office. Make sure that you go and take care of your children." So what she will do is that, in order to be sure that I've left the office, she will not call my mobile phone. She will call the office line. So it means if somebody picks it, it means I'm still there. We are still there. Normally, when mothers are at home, you can see how calm and serene environment you see at home. And this is exactly what we are going to see in our next government, because it's going to portray the mother nature to mother the nation and support His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to do excellent work.
Prof's appointment as the running mate ushers in a paradigm shift that focuses on competence, tested track records, high moral standards as the basis of, one ascending to the highest office of political, leadership. Yeah, she's a very confident and bold woman in a part of the world. For a woman to stand up, to be counted as the first woman to be chosen by a major political party, with her chest out 2 times, without saying no. I think she's confident and she's worthy of emulation by every young Ghanaian woman.
Minda.
And may the heavens rescue this land. We need a man with decent lead. John Mahama is the man for us. Oh, Ghana needs a change. I am sorry and Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My tax here thank you very much. My task here is to introduce our next speaker for this occasion, a man who needs no introduction at all, because we all know him as a father. You see, when God wants to rescue a people, he sends them a man. It was so in Bible days when God sent Moses to deliver his children from the land of slavery. And it is so today, for our God has not changed. And if you know the story of our next speaker, you cannot but agree with me that this is a man who has been handpicked by God and prepared to lead our country for a time such as this. This man represents experience and not experiment, because he has gone through the mill. At the international level, he served as the first co-chair of the United Nations Advocacy Group on the Sustainable Development Goals. He also served as the African Union's high-level committee that did the preparatory work to pave the way for the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. He is a former chairman of the Authority of Heads of States of ECOWAS, and currently he is the chair of the Tana Higher Level Forum on Security in Africa. In Ghana, he has gone through the mill as well. Ladies and gentlemen, he's been member of parliament for the good people of Bole Bamboy for 3 terms. He's been a deputy minister for communications. He's been a minister for communications. He's been vice president of the Republic of Ghana. And as vice president, he was not a mere mate, but a co-driver. He has been president of the Republic of Ghana. And by the grace of God, he shall be sworn in as president of the Republic of Ghana on 7th January 2025. He is a man of vision, a man of character, a man you can trust, a man who exudes humility and love for God and country seamlessly. Under his tenure for president, Ghana experienced true leadership and transformation. No region or sector was left out, but he was misunderstood, he was maligned, he was demonized and bastardized. But as he himself predicted, posterity has judged him well, and today he stands vindicated, and Ghanaians are yearning for his return. Ghanaians are saying they have missed him and cannot wait to see him at the Jubilee House again. Ladies and gentlemen, some call him the nation builder, but I call him Abu Brokosuya Adebeyeye and Saida. Now with a standing ovation and a rousing round of applause, make welcome to the microphone the man of vision, the man of character, the nation builder who will lead us to build the Ghana we want together. His Excellency, 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 John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you. Kindly resume your seats.
much. Thank you, Jama Group. Thank you very much. Let me say that I don't have any list. And so for those of them who were referred to by General as having chosen their positions, you may be very, very deeply disappointed. But I want to thank you very much and say good evening to you all, my brothers and sisters, my fellow comrades, and all the good people of Ghana. Let me begin by acknowledging our national chairman, Honorable Johnson Asiedun Ketia, our General Secretary Fifi Fiavi Kwete, the Chairman of our Council of Elders Alhaji Mahama Idrisu, and all members of the Council of Elders, and indeed all members of the NDC family. I wish with respect to acknowledge all distinguished members of our society who are with us today, including our traditional leaders, our traditional rulers, our religious leaders, our students, members of the diplomatic corps, market women, public servants, and indeed Ghanaians of all levels of society. You're all welcome and I acknowledge you. I also acknowledge my siblings and my family. My son Sharaf is here with me this evening. And most importantly, I recognize Mrs. Lordina Dramani Mahama. My faithful companion, who has stood by my side through all the rough and tumble of Ghanaian politics. But today we are here to celebrate one person, and that is my running mate, in whom I'm well pleased, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyemang. Ladies and gentlemen, I studied history in the university, so I always start with history. History is made up of stories. And as a history student, I've always found an insatiable love for stories. These stories are not simply meant to entertain us, but they are meant to teach us about ourselves, our choices, and our actions, and the useful lessons that we can learn from these stories. Indeed, the evolution of humankind has been the story of triumph over trials and challenges. And throughout history, civilization after civilization, society after society, humanity has found in its lowest moments within itself a rare but potent dose of inspiration, nestled in the illustrious hearts of its best people to turn things around. In adversity, we find opportunity. Ghana is at one such juncture. Ghana is at one such juncture in its life, and it requires all our best human resources to change the course of our history and steer our ship of state into calmer waters. Often when our stories are told, they are about his story. But right before us today in Ghana, another story is playing out. Right before our eyes, another history is in the making. But this time, I'll call it her story. Her story will blend favorably with our past to create what I call our story, which will inform our perspectives, shape our destinies, and determine our democratic journey. Therefore, I stand before you today with a deep sense of humility, a renewed sense of hope to introduce Professor J. Nana Opoku-Agyemang. A very respected woman, a female achiever, a woman of integrity, who would make her mark on our country's journey towards progress and prosperity. There is no question about it. Over the last few years, Ghana, our dear country, has sunk to the lowest depths in our history as an independent nation. Our country, Ghana, over the last few years, has been buffeted by turbulent seas and has been sailing against a very strong headwind. Our leadership has been uninspiring and inept. We have lived under an administration that is unable to be truthful and honest to the people of Ghana and never accepts responsibility for anything. There can be no question in our minds that the effect of this maladministration has been so insidious and pervasive that today our people have lost faith and hope in not just the government of the day, but in our democratic system of governance. Ladies and gentlemen, our country needs an urgent reset. Our people need a leadership that is inspiring, one that will make our people believe and trust in our Ghana project once again, and believe in the hope of a better future. Ghana needs a leadership that will place value on integrity, truth, and accountability. Ghana needs a leadership that will roll up its sleeves and accept responsibility for our current reality and face the present storm stoically and steer the ship of state into safer and calmer waters. Ghana in its present crisis needs leadership that will do things differently, including sacrificing personal comforts to achieve a Ghana of shared prosperity for all of us, not just a few. The next 4 years will be pivotal for our country's destiny. The urgency required to take our country to the height it deserves will be matched by each waking day. If there was any indication of intent to think outside the box, to be innovative and use our best human resources to deliver the Ghana we all want, then it is in my choice of J. Nana Opoku-Agyemang as my running mate. As my running mate and potential Vice President of Ghana going into the 2024 elections. I do not doubt this, as her globally acclaimed credentials attest to that. Nana Jane is a woman of unquestionable integrity and whose reputation for honesty and ethical behavior is unparalleled. Our late leader, the founder of the National Democratic Congress and the Fourth Republic, President Jerry John Rawlings, acknowledged her integrity when he told her in 2020, "There is no doubt that it is your integrity that has earned you the position as running mate." A former Minister of Education, a trailblazing first female Vice Chancellor of a public university in Ghana, and celebrated as a scholar and as an administrator, her shining credentials are endless on the African continent and across the globe. She is a woman who will accept responsibility and bring honesty and truth back to the office of the Vice President. With Nana Jane as my vice president, Ghana can be assured that an NDC government led by me, President John Dramani Mahama, will fight corruption and restore the gaping absence of accountability that is the current hallmark of this government. We will work tirelessly to ensure transparency, accountability, and justice for all and not just a few. I know Nana Jane is a passionate advocate of the Mahama 24-hour economy policy. She understands the importance of providing equal opportunities for women and young people to thrive in our economy. And as Vice President, she will ensure that women and young people have more access to jobs, helping to create a more inclusive and prosperous society. Beyond our Ghanaian borders, Nana Jane's esteemed reputation precedes her. Major international organizations and allies highly regard her, and she will represent Ghana with dignity and efficiency on the global stage. Her presence will open doors, increase trust for our nation, and secure many benefits with our international partners. But perhaps most importantly, Nana Jane represents the aspirations and dreams of every Ghanaian, especially our female population. Thank you. Thank you. Mami Odende. Thank you very much. As my second in command, thank you. Thank you. As my second in command, she will break the glass ceiling that has held our women down. And she will generate a new hope in our daughters that the sky is the limit. And that they can also aspire to occupy the highest offices of the land. If we are to build the Ghana we want together, then Jane Nana Opoku-Agyemang is truly the vice president Ghana is looking for. She will be a perfect complement in many ways, serving with dignity, courage, integrity, and grace. And under a Mahama Nana Jane administration, the government will work harmoniously with a seamless bridge between the office of the president and the office of the vice president. At the end of our tenure, our 4-year tenure, the story that will be recorded will be our story. It will be a collective legacy built by the best human resources of our country, male and female. Nana brings a depth of knowledge and a legacy of leadership to our ticket. I worked with her as my education minister, and again as my running mate. I've enjoyed a great working relationship with her, one that is based on mutual respect for each other and her deep sense of loyalty. She has great insights into human resource management, empowerment, and social development. And under my administration, she will have oversight, among others, of the education sector, the health sector, gender, and social protection. Thank you. In these dire times, when unemployment rates have risen astronomically and poverty is stalking our land, ours will be a pair of experienced individuals poised to work together to make the difference that Ghanaians deserve. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, comrades, my brothers and sisters, I'm happy to present to you my running mates, and by the grace of God and the votes of you, my fellow citizens, I'm happy to present Ghana's next Vice President, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyemang. And I leave you with this quotation from the Bible, and it's Romans 8 verse 31, and it says, if God be for us, who can be against us? Amen, and I thank you for your kind attention. Let's just go straight.
She can do that. I'll wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring some calm into the room as we wait to hear. Thank you for the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, let's settle down. Let's settle down. Let's settle down. Amen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyemang, 2024 running mate to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you all so very, very much. Thank you so much. All those singing Mami Odinde. My response is two. Thank you again and again. Thank you so much. Our respected party leader and flag bearer, Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the next president of our beloved republic. Your Excellency Lordina Mahama, members of the diplomatic corps, Nime Name, Nananom, Togbio, Mamao, our national chairman, the general secretary, the entire leadership, from the national through the regional constituency to the wards and branches, to our devoted, hardworking, and teaming supporters and sympathizers, many who have traveled from across the country, to you all I extend my deep appreciation for endorsing my nomination and for accepting me again. To my family, colleagues and friends, all those who have sent me volumes of moving letters and voice and written notes and songs and prayers of support since my nomination, please accept my undying gratitude. My plea is for all of us, bound by a shared vision to see our country take a turn for the better towards realizing that vision. I know you can, and I know you will. Your Excellency, Ayebida, President Mahama. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before I go on to other important matters, please let me state my understanding of where we are as a country, as a nation, and the implications of what lay ahead. The election ahead is not so much about Ghana making history, although that is important. It is not so much about returning a competent president back to power. It is not even about producing the first woman vice president, historical and exciting though these are. It is not only about bringing the NDC back to power, although that is indispensable in our current circumstances. The elections ahead and winning them is about winning elections for a purpose. The purpose goes beyond those enumerated above. The purpose is the opportunity to heal our country again. It is about the opportunity to pull Ghana back from the precipice of destruction, of normalizing corruption, of incomprehensive greed, from deep despair. The election ahead and winning it for our party is about hard work and abiding sacrifice. It is to embrace everyone in building a Ghana that functions again. It is to work towards a Ghana where citizens have confidence and hope and are determined to regain their independence of thought and of agenda. We must work towards a Ghana that at the very least can feed itself. We know we can. We must work towards a Ghana where the law truly works, where there is shared prosperity, where democracy has not become a fluke, where people are not abused, and where the basic necessities of life are not denied the majority. It is a chance to work hard towards building a country where citizens do not feel disrespected or intimidated or ignored because of the way they vote or the language they speak. The victory we seek as a party is to invite everyone to the onerous task of rebuilding a broken Ghana, of restoring hope in a manner that the is capable of, and evidenced by its history and achievements especially the recent ones under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. My brothers and sisters, we are not in ordinary times. This is not news. Some of us have been around for a while and have experienced the to and fro of politics in Ghana, but never have we experienced the levels of greed, unbridled arrogance, unrestrained impunity, sheer dishonesty, barefaced hypocrisy, incompassion as displayed by this incumbent government over the past 6 years and more. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the task ahead is formidable, much more than it was 4 years ago. When people ask me, why are you doing this? Let me explain. I remain inspired by the fact that as a people, we have faced terrible situations before. Check our history. Please don't begin with the Fourth Republic or the struggle for independence, although these are also important milestones. Go hundreds of years back. In those hard times, our forefathers and our foremothers too did not throw up their arms in despair. They fought back. They resisted. They sacrificed. They persevered. They brought back hope when there was none. They picked up the pieces of a broken people and carefully and strategically sewed them back. And they left for us a legacy of selflessness, of true patriotism and pride. It is our responsibility today to leave something better for the next generations. Giving up is not an option. We must all soldier on. Across the political divide, across social and professional groupings, among the youth, you hear complaints and stories concerning state capture, where this government has chosen to use its power not in the broader interest of all Ghanaians, but to favor a small clique. What is that? John and I have agreed that whoever has participated in the plunder of the state must be held accountable. And my friends, this is not a threat, it is a promise. It is a promise which is premised on the wishes of our citizens across the political divide, and it is hinged on the principle of accountability. Let us face the facts. Today, what do we hear? Is the promotion of ethnocentric elitism, which is masquerading as intellectualism. Ladies and gentlemen, it is elitism masquerading as intellectualism. It is weakness strutting as courage, and crony capitalism masked as development in freedom. It is shameless hypocrisy pretending to be objective. These will never move our country forward. Rather, the most significant achievement of all these has been a country in near insolvency. Its natural resources such as water, land, and even the environment in rebellion. A people harassed and intimidated into numbness, and as some will say cynically, some of us also bribed into silence. I envisage a report on the administration of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on the ticket of the NDC in his reign 2013 to early 2017. And I bet that the report will have no reference to the following: a multi-million dugout. I don't know about you, but the image I get looking at that hole is a trench in utter shock that anyone could believe it was intended as a Thanksgiving gift to the Almighty, invisible, God only wise. You will not find in his record a free SHS at war. The battle fought on the grounds of food, shelter, space, even calendar, teaching and learning materials, or those who spend a couple of weeks in school and many months at home just idling by. You will not find past questions instead of textbooks and science equipment. You will not find an atmosphere that suppresses learning. You will not find free water and electricity to a few that has turned out to be most expensive for everyone. Such a report will not find COVID money shared for partisan political campaign purposes. And all of this done when people were dying and they needed just a little bit of help. You will not find in his term an Japan-like manifesto. And you will not find him as president clearing malfeasance and writing love letters to prejudice a bad situation. You will not find that unemployment jumped from 8 to 14%. And actually check the figures. Check the actual figures. Go beyond the percentages. And you will not find a debt to GDP that has gone a wall, or a city that refuses to be tamed. Under his tenure, you will not find weak efforts to hide the truth of Doomsok. The reports will not include scandals surrounding the PDS, Australian visa, Keldon GVG, Boss contaminated fuel, excavations, and Aboboya tricycles that can fly faster than Nkonfem. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will not find unfulfilled promises of one village, one dam, $1 million per constituency per year, 350 secondary schools from scratch, and too many betrayals and too many instances of disrespect. You will not find in his time Extraka too embarrassed and gone into hiding because it is too afraid to expose its plagiarized content. In truth, such an investigation of his term would not reveal over 100 scandals and still counting. What will the report say about the NDC under John Dramani Mahama? After exhausting the list of clinics, hospitals, medical centers, expansion of existing universities, polytechnics, 10 technical universities, brand new universities, focus on current and projected national needs. You will find the Mahama schools, popularly called E-blocks, and you will find these constructed from scratch. You will find that there was a debilitating shift system and that it was painstakingly and effectively abolished. You will find that the ratio of textbooks at the primary level moved from 1 book to 3 children to 4 books per child. This is a leader you can trust. This is a leader who has the love of the country at heart. The report will highlight new roads, harbors, railway lines, not what we've seen of late, Ayalolo buses. You will find the lack of intimidation of opposing voices. You will find serious investment and practice to enable a digitized economy and society. The report will go on to point at housing projects, including the famous Saglemi housing complex, and even those that somebody has happily raised to make room for a presumed cathedral. You will find that journalists were not hounded into exile. Should I add more? Okay. The report will find that once upon some years ago, the blame for power outages was placed at the doorstep of the President and the Minister for Energy. The report will find a President who solved the energy crisis that he inherited, and a minister who did resign on principle. The report will tell of a timetable for load shedding, provided to respect the dignity of citizens and acknowledge their right to plan, and also to learn the truth about our situation with energy. The report will contrast the existing arrogance in leadership with that of the respectful JDM, who builds the children and youth by offering lasting skills, quality education, serious adaptable training, who opens up the economy to create more space for jobs and self-actualization. The report will highlight a JDM who does not line up desperate young people in the heat of the tropical sun to march and salute him as head of state for jobs that have no head, they have no tail, they have no future. The report will explain the foundations of the principles of the policies of the NDC, that they will see that the NDC strives and thrives on consensus building, from observation, study, analysis, vigorous debates that tolerate all views, to an agreement on the options at hand, and end with well thought out implementation plans. The benefits of such approach inure to everyone. They inure to nation, they inure to community, they inure to individual, in that order. The report will highlight, going forward, the critical processes that will lead to innovations and flexibilities of the brave, timely, intentional intervention of a 24-hour economy, as proposed by H.E. Mahama after consulting widely with stakeholders and citizens across the country, because he respects everyone. I am not surprised at all that many labor groups, businesses and individuals have embraced the concept. It is a vision anchored on the firm belief that the right policies and incentives in place, we can inspire a new generation of enterprises to adopt a multi-shift work system and wider participation in the economy, thereby ushering us all into a new and golden era of Ghanaian industry. Obiara baby. And by the time the policy is in full flight, a couple of years down the road, we should not be surprised to see how, from the vegetable seller to the miner, from the smallest hamlet to the crowded cities, from the farmer to the fisher folk, from the young couple to the single parent, everyone will come and see and apply the benefits of the 24-hour economy for national, group and individual advancement. Please come join us in our hall meetings, in our town hall meetings and other programs to learn more about this incredibly effective strategy. Do not fall victim to those who have realized that having failed in sloganeering and packaging, that they have exhausted all their strategies and therefore resort to deception and destruction. We are particularly pleased to see, as evidence in credible polls, that this visionary policy has caught on and resonated with the public, especially with our young people. Where are the youth? Are they here? The policy is for you, so please come and learn more about it. I know for a fact that the nation builder, Don Mahama, who is not an economist, will deliver this economic model. He thinks through what he does. He thinks through what he says. He considers advice. He is confident enough to amend his views when confronted by working alternatives. He does not rush with decisions that have serious effects on the lives of others. John Mahama does not shoot from the hip. A 24-hour economy. A 24-hour economy will demand that we pay special attention to skills training in Sanwejuma. And that is why we are serious about continuing with the critical reforms and the improvements we made under his tenure in our technical and vocational training institutions to ensure that we equip our youth with the technical skills necessary for a thriving economy. In Sanwejuma also means equipping our youth with tech skills so that they are ready to participate in our economy and in the global remote economy. So, as we mentioned several times, during the 2020 campaign, we intend to implement the 1 Million Coders program, which set an ambitious but attainable goal to train over 1 million of our youth in coding, data science, and other tech fields. The potential for this pool of young people to contribute to Ghana's GDP is enormous, and inshallah, it shall happen. Definitely, another important area, and why this position is important, and why the NDC has prioritized it. We will pay special attention to issues and challenges faced by women in all walks of life. Oh, the women are not happy. And the men too. is part of the reason we propose extended maternity leave, in line with one of His Excellency President Mahama's 2020 election promises. And in the 2024 manifesto, the flexibility offered within the context of a 24-hour economy must hold special attention for women, for obvious reasons. Maybe we should meet and have a long discussion on that one. Women entrepreneurs must have access to capital for the entire sector to boost their businesses. And that is why we will actively pursue the establishment of a Women's Development Bank. To primarily nurture and grow women-owned, women-led businesses. Women must become millionaires too, shouldn't we? We must become millionaires too through hard work, as our men do. We do not need hands out. We need hands up. Women of Ghana are capable of managing that bank 100%. The bank must take care of small-scale businesses or tiny-scale businesses to give them credit. And I'm talking about those who are hawking or people whose businesses do not depend on huge capital. I envisage a board made up of trading associations and cooperatives, and all these fully represented and making serious decisions and being accountable to its members. And I into me. Hello, and the world knows what we do with our resources when women prosper. We hardly leave our children behind. We hardly leave the wider families, including the men, behind. There is better stability at home. There's better peace at home. Most will demand less job money, so the dad should clap for us. And you know that all these add up to make a nation at peace with itself. Surely this is what Kwejiru Aggrey must have observed when he made his famous statement about the far-reaching effects of the education of women. Thank you very, very much. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if anyone has any doubt, just remember a lady called Esther Oklu. What brilliance, what innovation, what display of entrepreneurship. She showed the way. Let's revive that dream and hope and actions of our hero and heroine entrepreneurs as models. Let's stop killing their dreams, because some of us are simply too lazy, too envious, too lacking in original ideas, or have capabilities that are too low to match their results. How do we preach entrepreneurship, encourage a study, and propose this practice, and then turn around to make waste of the efforts of successful entrepreneurs? If you decide you don't like the owner, think of the worker who may be a member of your community, your political party, or even your church member. How about him? We must move to the level of encouragement, appreciation, and support of those who participate in the private sector, no matter what. Their efforts at nation building trickle down to all groups. We will also undertake the modernization of our markets, which remain special and dominant places for women in the economy. Market women deserve the benefits of a clean, modernized marketplace. Our efforts so far bear witness. All I plead is that our efforts must not end with beautiful Kejetia or attractive Kotokraba and allied markets. My fellow Ghanaians, please, let us just be mindful and show some respect to our citizens. So the lives are not stable. And because somebody has not told us that it is doomsday, it means there is no doomsday. So the Electoral Commission is struggling to defend its credibility. And until the Commission tells us that the missing equipment mean nothing, everyone should believe that there are no issues to worry about. How did disrespect get so high? Actions that impoverish and disenfranchise do not necessarily translate into feeble-mindedness in people who are angry, in people who are hungry, and in people who are oppressed. On the contrary, again, check the details in our history. Electoral Commission, I address you directly. It is in the national interest and in your own interest to make transparent what has been and is going on in your establishment. The truth will not be suppressed. You cannot be so independent as to disregard the people who validate your existence. It does not happen anywhere. Easy. A word to the wise is in Asen North. This administration has all but given up. Whereas they will not consult, they will not engage, they will not review. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, fellow Ghanaians, Ghana requires a different environment, and urgently so. The Ghanaian voter is presented again with the experienced, humble, focused, and truthful John Mahama, who has always consulted out of respect and out of the conviction that knowledge does not reside in the head of any one person. The condescending see this, unfortunately, as a sign of not having original ideas. The unpretentious see it as a sign of understanding the foundations of democracy, which is consensus building. I see it as a sign of strength, and I feel privileged to work so closely with JDM. Consensus building should be the fulcrum of any progressive, positive project. It has already been demonstrated to us how without such a foundation, the Ghana without aid has turned out to be the Ghana without compass. We have a choice now, come December 7th, and let us make the right choice. Corruption is too rampant in many government and non-government institutions. Sadly, those institutions meant to check on corruption have been significantly weakened. We must strengthen the institutions, and we will do just that when the NDC comes to power from January 2025, God willing. It is our duty to ensure that our sources of wealth are not given away to obscure entities or shrouded in opaque deals. We must not arrive at a destination where our national assets and natural resources are treated by some as if they were assets of their own creation, to be willed forever to friends and family. We must be passionate about justice, about the protection of our environment, about protecting our differently able citizens. We must be passionate about institutions that are responsive or are supposed to be responsive to our collective needs. We must be passionate about stamping out corruption. Let no one tell us otherwise. Not even those who have so alienated themselves from reality as to be impervious to the truth of women delivering on the floor, of children waiting for a benevolent person to advance much needed vaccines, of children learning in dangerous circumstances, of teachers threatened and parents intimidated from their core functions of caring for their own children, of those who can no longer afford healthy and once affordable meals, euphemistically called face the wall or Kofi Brookman. We must ensure that our elderly citizens must not picket for their own money. Let no one tell us that the culture of silence has become the norm. And let no one convince us that 8 persons were shot in cold blood because they had gone to exercise their civic responsibility of voting, and that it was all right for a whole member of parliament to call them criminals, or that it is okay for Sal to have no representative in parliament for 4 years. And all of this happening under democracy because somebody whimsically decided hours to elections that they could not vote for a parliamentary candidate. And please don't tell us that the Bank of Ghana, rather than defending itself from accusations of breach of procedure, can choose to label those who raise the matter publicly as hooligans, and that they should have followed procedure. And at the time of accounting to the people, let no one pretend that they have more human rights than those they have consciously disenfranchised and those to whom justice has been shamefully denied. When those otherwise loud voices we assumed spoke for the voiceless have gone into self-imposed silence and even deafness and blindness, with all apologies to our friends, but this is self-imposed, not natural. Should we honestly be surprised at the high levels of cynicism, if not downright mistrust of our leaders? Are we surprised that we have our youth in despair? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our country is not sitting pretty. Things have gravely deteriorated. We agree to that. It is high time we came together to do the hard work, to build again, regardless how daunting. All is not lost. Our beloved country can rise again. Again, and this time it should not slack. Politics is about building the country. It is not about insults or filthy language. Politics is not about disrespect or fear. It is not about violence or greed. It is not about abuse of power or hypocrisy. Politics is about fighting injustice. Hunger is about fighting hopelessness, arrogance, selfishness, unbridled greed, corruption, state capture, disrespect of fellow human beings. And in this fight, we don't need private armies, we don't need mercenaries, we don't need destructive ammunition, or in Ghanaian parlance, by heart talk, or wanton ruining of other people's hard-earned reputations. That is not politics. What I've enumerated is jealousy hoisted on cowardice. We need the armor of principles, selflessness, sacrifice, and all these rooted firmly in the service of those who give us the power. Politics is to imagine a better community, a better constituency, a better region, a better country. All of us building the Ghana we want together. The time for us to rise as a nation is now. Let us walk and work towards a victorious election.
NLA 590 Mobile. Today we will discuss how you can win cash by playing 590 on your phone or online. Visit 590mobile.com.gh or dial *959# on any handset or network and choose option 6 on the menu for PERM 2. PERMing allows you to increase your chances of a winning combination. PERM 2 gives you 240 times your stake amount when 2 or more numbers from your selection appear in any order. You need to select from 3 or up to a maximum of 10 numbers, or between 1 to 90, to play PERM 2. Thank you for your attention. And remember, you can stake your favorite NLA 590 lottery on your phone or online right now. All wins are paid same day, in full, and direct to your Momo.
Please dial 059-692-1590
for any assistance. 590 Mobile. And down some.
What did you say? What person will catch it on? One minute, you will obey. Oh, my bedding man over. Me a bedding man who's soon what you want.
Oh, Charlie, bring more. We outside.
We didn't have me soon over born with a meter.